Hello, my name is Matthew. I spent 15 years in prison for a crime I committed in 2010. Upon my release from jail, I was shocked at the way the resources we need to access are dispersed seemingly at will. There was no centralized process. There was no way to find that information easily. The resources I'm talking about are things like the job centre, probation, drug and alcohol use, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, where to get help with your mental health and well-being, financial advice, opening a bank account, creating a CV, sending that CV to an employer, having the experience of that digital technology often without having ever seen a smartphone before. So that's the general concept of the Pathfinder application. People can, at the press of a button, in the first few minutes after release or on downloading the application, the app, they can speak to a mentor, they can speak to someone at Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, they can seek mental health care, they can seek physical health care, they can find their nearest hospital, they can speak to their probation officer, um, they can find which hostel they're going to, they can access Google Maps to give them directions to where they're going to, travel directions to where they're going to. Um, the app is designed to help prisoners in really from the first few seconds of their release, where it explains to them the psychological and mental distress they may be experiencing, why they are experiencing that, coping mechanisms, and how that distress can lead to alcohol and drug use to cope with that distress. Quite often, that's where people fall at the first hurdle. The very act of getting out of jail is so frightful, so fearful, and so fear inducing that people resort to alcohol and drugs within minutes of getting out of prison. It's lunacy. Um, we send people to jail. We do not talk about the damage and the post traumatic stress that they suffer as a result of years of brutalization and incarceration. That then transforms into maladaptive coping strategies when they get released, which often leads to recall to prison to suffer yet more brutality and distress, which just repeats and repeats and repeats, and it is utter madness. The secondary function of the app is to guide prisoners through speaking to people such as mentors, that's prisoners who have been in their position and who have made a success of their lives. It's to guide them towards employers who have a history of employing ex offenders, to guide them towards centralized resources which they can access just at the press of a button. No more looking for these resources, finding them, are they available to them? It's click, click, and they're on their way. Why this hasn't been done before, I have no idea. But I've built a concept model of this application. It works. It's good. I now need to take this to the next level where I can publish a fully functioning version to Google Play Store, Microsoft Play Store, and it can be downloaded by prisoners. In version 2, I foresee interfaces with people like healthcare providers, psychology, um, probation, alcohol and drug service users, where they can upload appointments directly to the app and guide prisoners through their day-to-day activities. Um, but that's for version 2, version 3. Right now, I'm just keen to save lives, reduce the recalls to prison, and to help these people who have paid their debt to society. I'm not excusing their behaviour, I'm not excusing their offending. I'm saying they've paid their debt to society, and it's utter madness if we don't give them every opportunity to succeed upon their release. They've earned the right to have their release, and we need to help them make a success of their release for the benefit of society as a whole, to reduce reoffending and to reduce recalls to prison. Our punishment is to lose our liberty, not to be brutalized and suffer post traumatic stress as a result of that incarceration, which then transforms into further offending, alcohol use, drug use, failed releases, which leads to further incarceration, a greater expense to the taxpayer. One statistic I'd like to give you: in the late 1990s, there were a total of 300 recalled offenders. That's prisoners who had been released on licence and subsequently recalled to prison. Today, that figure stands at 16,500. So we can see that a greater proportion of those that are released are being sent straight back to prison. One of the reasons is maladaptive coping strategies on release. Not all of it, but a lot of it. So let's try and help these people. Let's get this app off the ground. To do so, I need help with funding to take it to the next level. I'm a fully reformed and rehabilitated man. Everything I do is in the full spotlight of probation services, those who are supervising me, um, and I would welcome any suggestions. Anyone who wants to come and be a patron, anyone who wants to come and be a member of this project, I would welcome it from all walks of life. Um, and ultimately, I'm looking to reduce offending, reduce victims, and help people at what is quite possibly the most vulnerable time of their life upon release from incarceration. So let's hope it works. Let's see if we can get some funding off the ground, and let's see if we can get a fully functioning app out to society at the earliest opportunity and reduce crime. Ultimately, don't we all want that? Thank you very much for hearing my presentation.